What's up, everybody? It is Matt from Liberty and Cannabis for All coming at you with our third installment from our series on the endocannabinoid system. If you haven't already listened or tuned in, we have covered what the endocannabinoid system is, what terpenes are, and what their role are within the endocannabinoid system. And now we're actually going to cover the chemical composition of cannabinoids. If you like us, please share us with somebody. Our job is to provide micro doses of information and education so you guys can go out there and share and disseminate this with everyone else who's not on the cannabis train. So we're going to jump right into cannabinoids. So when we think of cannabinoids, what we're doing is actually talking about a group, and it's a massive group, right? We have been able to identify at least 113 different cannabinoids from cannabis. Okay, that's not from any other plant, that's specifically from cannabis. And again, cannabinoids are a fancy word for chemicals that are extracted from the plant. Okay, so the cannabinoids and what they do in the body are they attach themselves to the receptors that are in the endocannabinoid system that we talked about from the first podcast in this series. And the endocannabinoid system is set up with a couple different receptors known as CB1 and CB2. Now, CB1 is primarily located in the brain, and CB2 is located primarily in the body, and there is a lot of overlap in CB2 in the central nervous system up into the brain. So, as we talk about what these cannabinoids do within the system, we kind of have to look at what are cannabinoids and their classifications, and then, again, how they attach and what they affect, all right? So, basically, you have these molecules, and the most famous being THC, right? That is a cannabinoid that everybody is intimately familiar with. And it is also one that is currently listed as a Schedule 1 on the CSA. So THC is going to be the molecule that is psychoactive. That's the one that gets you, quote, high. It also has a whole list of medical benefits besides just psychoactively getting you high. That's why I'm a huge proponent that there's no such thing as recreational cannabis use. There's only medical cannabis use with an adult use element, not the other way around. So as we push past that, there's a lot of other cannabinoids. There's CBD, CBA, CBDA, CBN, CBG. There are 113 of them, all right? So this is a very, very, very complex molecular structure that has around 113 that we know of different molecular bindings and structures, okay? So as we introduce cannabinoids into our body, what we're really doing is we're introducing phytocannabinoids into the system that come from plants, and these cannabinoids attach through receptors, okay? And these, again, the endocannabinoid system is present throughout the whole entire body. So cannabinoids come in and they're going to embed into the cell membranes, and when they activate or stimulate the cannabis receptors or the cannabinoid receptors, a whole host of physiological changes and processes occur from that. All right, so your CB1 receptors are going to be in the nervous system, your connective tissues, your glands, and your organs. And your CB2 receptors are going to be predominantly found in your immune system and its associated structures, right? So many tissues are going to contain both the CB1 and CB2, and they're actually linked to different actions, okay? We only know of two. That doesn't mean that there's not going to be the discovery of CB3, CB4, CB5. You know, the science behind this is being stifled right now because cannabinoids are Schedule 1. But as that's lifted and medical research is going to be made available, we're going to start seeing a massive increase in our knowledge base, our database, and ultimately our medical application of the endocannabinoid system. So these endocannabinoids, right? The photocannabinoids are introduced into the body, and they are going to attach and stimulate these receptors, which are going to then change things in the body to reconstitute homeostasis. And that's the big key here, is that homeostasis is required for good and essential health. We don't really think about that word a lot, and we take it for granted because, homeostasis, the balance, everybody thinks their bodies are balanced, but it's usually the opposite. You got to remember how many things are out there externally that are influencing your body and influencing it negatively. The air you breathe, the food you drink, or the food you eat, the water you drink, all of these external stimuli are constantly degrading your body. Cellular degeneration is happening. Oxidation is occurring within your cells at the molecular level by the hundreds of millions and billions per day. And your body has to regenerate, reconstitute these things, and is constantly doing that. But if the encoding is wrong, if the RNA gets changed, if things happen over time, the pH levels are too low, X, Y, and Z, that's when we start seeing these things manifest themselves as issues. And these issues stem from basic mechanics, which are homeostasis, and the majority of issues ultimately stem from inflammation. So as these endocannabinoid systems come in, and they're going to quickly reconstitute that homeostasis and bring that body back into alignment. And that's exactly what we want to do, right? Some of this is more aggressive than others, and some cannabinoids specifically target certain things. For instance, THC has an apoptosis effect on cancer cells and creates a protective barrier around a cancerous cell that allows for that cancer cell to commit suicide. And that is a very, very specific thing to a cannabinoid and the endocannabinoid system. And again, you have to remember, every single human on earth has an endocannabinoid system. We are all creating and generating endocannabinoids organically, and in the introduction of photocannabinoids, we can up the ante and bring our bodies back into homeostasis even faster. So that's good news. If you've got absolutely nothing wrong with you and you are a perfect, healthy human being, your body will still benefit from the stimulation of your endocannabinoid system via introduction of these cannabinoids, right? And you don't have to take it to a psychological or psychoactive effect with THC. You can stick with the non-psychoactive ones. But if you are dealing with something such as a degenerative disorder or a cancer, there is also the option to specifically target that with cannabinoids. And you have to think of the endocannabinoid system as one of the major highways in your body, just like your lymph system, just like your cardiovascular system. This system is connected to everything. So wouldn't it be beneficial in the long run to utilize a system that's pre-existing in the body to help address a deficiency or a defunct, such as cancer, that is occurring within the system? Mother Nature gave it to us for a reason. We need to take full advantage of that. And that's also, again, one of the reasons why we're doing these micro doses of information and doing the Liberty in Cannabis for All podcast. Because I firmly believe that with the correct focal points as well as perspective, anybody can easily grasp what the power of cannabis is, how it applies in our daily lives, and what to do with it next. So that's going to wrap it up here for our 3-part series on the endocannabinoid system, terpenes, and cannabinoids of various profiles. But I'm Matt from Liberty and Cannabis. If you like us, please share us. Please follow us. We are on iTunes podcast. We are on Spreaker. And we are also on TuneIn Radio. So we'll be seeing you next time for Liberty and Cannabis.